She said I didn't dream big enough. She packed her bags while I was cooking dinner. Said she found someone more established. Someone who already owned the kind of life I was still building. I didn't argue. I didn't chase. I just watched her leave. With a man who promised her the world. What she didn't know? That mansion she walked into with him, the one she called her forever home, it already belonged to me. It was Tuesday night. I'd just finished cooking. Garlic in the air, 2 steaks plated. Hers medium rare. I lit a candle because it was our anniversary. Nothing fancy. Just something to say I remembered. She walked in late. Didn't smile. Didn't even look at the table. Tossed her bag on the chair and rubbed her neck like she was exhausted. She didn't sit. She just said, "We need to talk." I waited. I can't do this anymore. There wasn't even a pause. No slow build-up. Just those words. I asked, "Do what?" She looked at me. Finally. But it wasn't with anger. It was distance. Like I was a problem she'd already solved. This life, United States. I've waited and waited, but nothing's changing. I need more than what you can give me, Ryan. She shifted on her feet. I've met someone. That was the moment. That's when the air went out of the room. And not in a dramatic, slow-motion way. It was quiet, cold, final. I didn't ask who he was, didn't ask how long it had been happening. I just looked at her and said, "So you're done?" She nodded, said sorry, said she hoped I'd understand one day. She walked toward the door, grabbed her coat. She paused for a second before she opened it, just long enough to see if I'd beg. I didn't. She left, didn't even say goodbye to the dog. I sat down at the table, fork still in my hand. The food was getting cold, the wine untouched. I stared at her empty chair for a long time. I'd spent the afternoon cleaning the apartment, setting the table, trying to make something special with what we had. She left like none of it meant anything. And maybe to her, it didn't. Maybe it hadn't for a while. 2 years earlier, we were excited. She was the first person who really believed in the idea. A real estate analytics tool that could help smaller investors see commercial trends before the big guys did. She'd sit with me after work, help me debug code she didn't understand, order in food while I wrote pitch emails. We even came up with a name together. It felt like we were building something. But dreams take time, and she didn't want to wait anymore. At first, she tried to be patient, but that changed. She stopped asking how it was going, started leaving earlier, started making comments like, "You really think someone's going to invest in property graphs?" A month before she left, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Maybe you're not failing. Maybe you just don't have it." That was the last honest thing she ever said to me. After she walked out, everything slowed down. The nights were silent. The apartment felt unfamiliar. I kept working, not because I was motivated, but because I didn't have anything else. I woke up, turned on my computer, and opened the same files I had been working on for a year. The difference now was that there was no one checking in, no one bringing coffee, no one telling me I could do it. It was just me. But maybe that's what I needed. She left because she didn't believe I would ever make it. What she didn't realize was, she left right before I did. She left on a Tuesday. By Thursday, I'd deleted every photo of us from my phone, not out of anger, out of efficiency. She used to say I spent too much time on my laptop, that if I just worked smarter, not harder, I'd be further by now. What she didn't know was that I was working smarter, just not loud about it. And a few weeks after she left, something finally clicked. One of my cold pitches landed. A mid-sized developer out of Nevada. They liked my tool, said the insights helped them avoid a bad deal last quarter, asked if I could integrate my software into their internal acquisition system. I said yes, even though I had no idea how I'd do it. I learned fast. Then another call came in, then 2 more. Within 6 months, I'd signed 3 regional development firms and 1 IREIT. None of them cared what I looked like. None of them cared that I didn't drive a Mercedes. They just cared that I made them money. I moved offices. Well, I moved into an office. A small one. No windows, just a desk, a chair, and Wi-Fi that barely worked. But it was mine. No shared walls, no passive-aggressive sticky notes on the fridge, no perfume in the hallway reminding me of her. Just me. And momentum. I didn't celebrate when I hit my first million in revenue. Didn't post about it. Didn't buy a new watch. Didn't take a trip to find myself. I stayed focused. She had left for someone richer, and I wasn't interested in chasing anyone anymore. I was building something they'd come to. By the 1-year mark, my company had an official name, 4 part-time developers, and a fully automated deal screening system for private investors. But what mattered most was control. I could look at any commercial property in 3 states and know exactly how undervalued or overhyped it was. I didn't have to guess anymore. I didn't have to ask for approval. I just ran the numbers and made decisions. One afternoon, while reviewing a list of upcoming auctions, I saw an address I recognized. A mansion in the hills. White pillars, wraparound driveway, floor-to-ceiling windows. She once showed me that house on her phone and said, "If we ever make it, that's the one." Back then, I laughed and said, "Let's start with rent first." She didn't laugh with me. She looked away. Now, it was listed under market value. The owners had defaulted. It wasn't just available. It was vulnerable. And I had the capital. I didn't buy it in my name. I used one of the trusts my CFO had set up for institutional clients. Quiet, untraceable, efficient. The property changed hands on a Thursday. 2 weeks later, I got a message. From her. The message came at 11:42 p.m. "Hey, random question. Do you still work in real estate?" It was her. No hello, no apology. Just a line from someone testing the water before she steps in. I stared at the screen for a while before responding. "Yeah, why?" She replied 4 minutes later. "My boyfriend and I are looking at a property in the hills. It's being shown this weekend. Just thought I'd ask since you always knew this stuff." Then she sent the address. Same house, the mansion. The one she used to dream about when we were eating ramen on a second-hand couch. I typed out a response, deleted it, then sent something simple. "It's a great place. Let me know how the showing goes." That was it. No emotion, no ego, just interest, like a consultant or a stranger. Saturday came fast. The showing was set for 2 p.m. private, by invitation only. The listing agent was a friend of a friend. I told him to keep my name out of it. I arrived at 1:20, not to prepare, just to observe. The marble floors were polished. The scent of fresh eucalyptus was pumped through the vents. Light jazz played in the background. Everything was perfect. I stood near the back patio, sipping espresso from a tiny porcelain cup like I didn't own the floor under my shoes. At exactly 1:58, the front doors opened. She walked in first. Hair curled. White blouse. Designer sunglasses propped on her head like a tiara. Behind her, the boyfriend. 6-foot confidence in a tailored suit. Rolex visible. Voice louder than necessary. They didn't see me right away. They walked room to room with the agent, nodding, pointing, whispering. Then she looked across the living room and froze. Her eyes met mine. You could see it hit her. A flicker of recognition, confusion, and something else. I gave a small nod. Nothing more. She hesitated, then walked over. "Ryan?" "Hey," I said casually, like we'd run into each other at a grocery store. "What are you doing here?" "Overseeing the property." I said it clean. No explanation. Her boyfriend walked up, held out his hand. "James, we're looking to buy. Gorgeous place." "Thanks," I said. Shook his hand. He didn't know who I was. She still wasn't sure what I meant by overseeing. They asked about the inspection report. I gave them a copy. They asked about the ownership. I handed them a simple printout, clean, white paper, corporate logos, investment trust details. She scanned it. Then her eyes landed on the signature at the bottom. My initials. That's when it hit her. I watched her hand tremble, just slightly, as she passed the paper back. She didn't say anything. Didn't need to. I looked at her, calm as ever. It's not on the market anymore. What? James asked. It's been pulled, just this morning. He frowned. That's ridiculous. We're serious buyers. I nodded. I'm sure you are. She was still staring at me, not saying a word, just watching the floor collapse under the fantasy she built. And I gave her nothing. No explanation, no dig, no insult, just truth, wrapped in silence. They left without making an offer. She didn't speak again, didn't even turn around as they walked through the front doors. James looked irritated. She looked hollow. I stayed behind, made sure the doors were locked, lights off, security system armed. The house wasn't just a house anymore. It was the end of something that should have ended a long time ago. That night I got another message from her. Did you do that on purpose? I left it unread. She sent another. It's just weird that you ended up there, of all places. Still didn't reply. I wasn't being cruel. I was being consistent. The same way she left my dinner plate untouched that night, I left her message unopened. A week later, she showed up at my office. No appointment, no warning. My receptionist buzzed me. Said a woman was asking to speak to the owner of the firm. I told her to tell the woman the owner was in a meeting, which was true. I was meeting with someone much more important, myself. She waited in the lobby for 15 minutes, then left. Later that day, she tried again, this time through a mutual friend. Said she just wanted to talk, that she had questions, that it wasn't about money. She just wanted clarity. I gave none. Because here's the truth. She didn't leave because I was broke. She left because I didn't look like what she thought success should look like. Now that I did, she wanted an explanation. But success doesn't come with an explanation. It comes with boundaries. It comes with remembering who believed in the blueprint and who couldn't wait to cash out before the foundation dried. So I didn't reply, didn't gloat, didn't post. Just closed the blinds in my office, sat in my chair, and let it hit me. She left looking for a mansion and ended up knocking on the door of one that already had my name on it. She didn't just lose me. She lost the future she didn't have the patience to see coming. 3 weeks passed. No more messages. No calls, no unannounced visits. She finally understood. This wasn't silence out of bitterness. It was distance out of principle. I wasn't angry. I was done. That same month, I finalized the acquisition of a commercial portfolio. 6 properties across 2 states. One of them was in her boyfriend's name. He didn't know. His firm had over-leveraged. The property defaulted. I picked it up through another holding company, one of ours. When the documents were signed, I scanned through the paperwork. His name was listed under previous owner. I didn't frame it, didn't mention it, just smiled and closed the file. Another square on the board. On a quiet Friday, I walked through the mansion alone. No agents, no cleaners, no stagers, just the echo of polished wood and the sound of my own footsteps. This house, it wasn't about her. It wasn't about proving anything. It was about knowing I could build something from nothing, even after being told I wasn't enough. I stood in the same kitchen she used to dream about, the one she said we'd never afford, the one she told me was for people who had already made it. I opened the fridge, grabbed a bottle of cold water, looked around, and smiled. Not because I'd won, but because I didn't need to. I don't know where she is now. Don't check, don't care. That part of my life is filed under a closed tab, like an old invoice marked settled. She walked away from potential. I walked into ownership. The story didn't end with a big confrontation. No shouting, no tears, no one chasing anyone in the rain. It ended with a man sitting in his own house, a house he didn't buy to impress someone, but to remind himself what patience can build when ego isn't driving the plan. I don't tell this story to brag, and I'm not interested in applause. This isn't about revenge, it's about clarity. It's about remembering what they called too slow was actually just a long game. That being underestimated is only dangerous if you don't know what you're worth. Now I do. These days, I work less. I take morning walks before checking my email. I drink my coffee while it's still hot. I sit on the back patio of that same house, the one she thought belonged to someone better, and I plan my next move, not out of desperation, but out of choice. The startup runs itself now. We're expanding, quietly. My team handles the investors. I focus on the structure, the parts no one sees, but that hold everything up. I don't bring up her name, not to friends, not to family, not even in my head. She made her decision. So did I. The difference is, mine kept paying dividends. A few months ago, someone asked me if I ever think about what she lost. I said no, but I think about what I almost gave up, because someone couldn't wait for results. If I'd chased her, I wouldn't be here. If I'd explained myself, I'd still be defending my future to someone who never planned to be in it. So I didn't chase. I just built. And if you're watching this because someone walked out on you when you were still becoming something, good. Let them go. Then get quiet, get focused, and make sure that the next time they hear your name, it's not from you. It's from a room they never thought you'd walk into. And by then, you won't even need to say hello.